Welcome to this week's edition of the Week in Triathlon. Without further ado, let's roll that intro and get stuck into this week's news. For starters, here's a question for you. How old is too old to compete as a professional at iron distance triathlon? This is an important question that we need to be asking ourselves, especially considering that we are now exactly 2 months out from when Lance Armstrong's triathlon ban comes to an end. And by way of an answer, we can look at Natascha Badmann and her performance at Ironman France in Nice this past weekend. For those of you that are relatively new to the sport of triathlon, Badmann won Ironman Kona, the World Championships, 6 times between 1998 and 2005. Yes, ironically, that's the same time as the infamous Lance Armstrong era in the Tour de France. Badmann is currently ranked number 36 on the Kona Points Ranking system, and she needs to make the top 30 to qualify for Kona this year. Now, getting back to Nice, even though Badmann was a DNF in the Nice race itself, she outbiked third place finisher Leander Cave by 4 minutes. And why am I telling you all about this for an athlete that didn't even finish Ironman Nice this year? Well, very importantly, in December, Natascha Badmann turns 50 years old. That puts her 4 years older than Lance Armstrong. And Natascha Badmann is still competing at the top of pro-level Ironman distance racing at the age of 49, almost 50. So there's no reason whatsoever why Lance wouldn't be able to compete at pro-level at the age of 47, which is what he'll be next year. But also bearing in mind that obviously Lance won't be able to compete at that high enough level to be able to earn a living off the prize money. But you can bet your bottom dollar that if Lance is racing triathlon, the amount of media hype and following that those events will get will be enough to be able to secure him a good couple of lucrative endorsement deals. But I'm getting ahead of myself over here. But all I'm saying is superb work there by Natascha Badmann, and she just proves that 49 is not too old to be competing at iron distance racing as a professional. Just this past week, I saw a very interesting piece of analysis of the USA women's triathlon team that has emerged from one of the best triathlon coaches in the world. And according to this analysis, Team USA has almost guaranteed themselves a 0 triathlon medals at the Rio Olympic Games. Because this year, like previous Olympic Games, the Team USA has looked at an absolutely zero analysis of what athletes' current form is. There's still a good month or two before they absolutely have to submit their complete and final Olympic team. And as we know with the sport of triathlon, holding form over an extended period of time is an incredibly difficult thing to do. As Nicholas Spirig and Richard Murray have pointed out, that it takes that much time for an athlete to have a crash on the bike, break bones in their body, and put them completely out of contention as being able to compete. So they've committed their 3 athletes. If any of those 3 athletes crash out and are unable to compete at the Rio Olympics, that athlete falls away. They can't bring up a reserve to fill the place. So that's one very important factor. And the other factor is they've selected 3 women that have got identical strengths and identical weaknesses to race on a circuit that plays to the weaknesses of all 3 of the athletes. Because Rio has got an ocean swim, It's got a super tight and technical bike course, so which means that if there's a split in the field in the swim, that half of the field is going to go in the bike leg, and on a super tight technical bike course, it's going to be incredibly hard to bring them back. If Team USA had a super fast swimmer to get into the break, then they wouldn't have to burn all three of their athletes to bring the break back and tire themselves out for the run that's due to follow. So Team USA really dropped the ball there, announcing the team too early, and secondly, picking a team that are super strong runners but relatively weak swimmers. So all three of their athletes won't be able to make the break that will be happening in the swim pack during the course of the Olympic swim. Now onto the world of Ironman. Ironman has announced a new event for the 2017 race calendar, and the first edition of the Ironman 70.3 Campeche will take place on the 19th of March 2017. And very importantly, Campeche is along the west coast of Mexico, just inland of where the Baja Peninsula extends down southwards. As far as last weekend's racing is concerned, there was an Ironman 70.3 on Saturday the 4th of June, and that was at the Kohala coast on the island of Hawaii. But as far as that one's concerned, there were no pro athletes present at that event, so no pro race took place. Then as far as Sunday the 5th of June, there were 3 70.3s and 1 full distance Ironman. The 70.3s were in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you had Lauren Barnett of the USA winning for the ladies, and Matt Russell of the USA winning in the men's division. Then there was a 70.3 in Kraichgau in Germany. We had Anja Beranek of Germany winning the ladies division, Boris Stein also of Germany winning the men's division. Then also on Sunday the 5th of June was the Ironman 70.3 Rapperswil, Switzerland. Daniela Ryf completely dominated the women's event to bring home the title there. She finished 11th overall, so there were only 10 pro men that were able to get in ahead of Daniela Ryf, and that's taking into account a split swim. So in other words, Daniela started behind the men's group as far as the swim was concerned, and still swam, biked and ran through the pro men's field. The men's race was won by Nils Frommel of Germany. Then there was Ironman France that was held in Nice. The women's race was won by Tini Deckers of Belgium, while Victor Del Corral of Spain won the men's race. Looking ahead to the coming weekend, it's a jam-packed full weekend of Ironman. On Saturday, the 11th of June, you've got the Ironman 70.3 Boulder, Colorado. Sunday, the 12th of June, you've got the Ironman 70.3 Cairns, Australia. The Ironman Asia Pacific Championship Full Distance Ironman, also Cairns, Australia. Then you've got Ironman 70.3 Japan, Ironman 70.3 Italy, Ironman 70.3 Staffordshire, England, Ironman 70.3 Victoria, Canada, and Ironman 70.3 Eagleman, that's in Maryland, USA. So a jam-packed full weekend of Ironman racing this weekend. Now for the Challenge family. No major news snippets from the Challenge family available at the time of this week in triathlon going to recording. As far as results are concerned, last weekend was the Challenge Venice, Italy, and the ladies' race was won by Erika Sumor of Hungary, while Dirk Wijnalda of Holland won the men's division. This coming weekend, you've got a half challenge in Billund Havning in Denmark, as well as a full distance challenge in Billund Havning in Denmark. As far as Xterra is concerned, at the time of recording this weekend triathlon, no Xterra press releases have been available for me to be able to report on. As far as last weekend's racing was concerned, no Xterra racing at World Tour level took place, but this coming weekend, on Saturday the 11th of June, there'll be Xterra Belgium. The focus of news from the world of ITU is all around the World Triathlon Series event that takes place this weekend, and it's the World Triathlon Series visits the city of Leeds in England for the first time. It's also the first time this season that old rivalry between the Brownlee brothers and Gomez Noya will be resumed. So we'll have to watch the space and see how all of that transpires. Then, as far as the past weekend is concerned, on Sunday the 5th of June was the ITU World Duathlon Championships that took place in Avilés, Spain. Emma Pallant of Great Britain won the ladies' race, while Richard Murray won the men's. And just as a sidebar on Richard Murray's win, you may recall that at the World Triathlon Series, Gold Coast, Australia, just 7 weeks ago, Richard had a serious crash on his bike, and in the process absolutely shattered his clavicle. And just 7 weeks later to come back from that and win the World Duathlon Championships shows he's on a good mend as far as his form is concerned. This coming weekend, as I mentioned earlier, Sunday the 12th of June, you've got the ITU World Triathlon Series event taking place in Leeds in England. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of the Weekend Triathlon. Be sure to share this video out amongst all of your triathlon friends. Don't forget to click the like button if you like this type of content, and post any comments, questions or criticisms that you may have in the comment section down below this video. And last but by no means least, down over there is a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel for all the new content that comes out to you every single day of the week. And remember, stay carved up for the win, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Whoa!